Little Johnny was a lazy student and was failing math badly. His parents had enough of this. So they pulled him out of a regular school and enrolled him at the local Catholic school. And after the first day, he came home and not a word. He headed up to his bedroom to do his math homework. He was up there for 4 whole hours until he was done. The same thing happened the next day, and so on and so on. Several days later, his parents came up to his room and asked, "Johnny, what brought this on? You're working your tail off. You didn't used to do that before." Johnny replied, "When I got to my math class on Monday and saw that guy above the blackboard nailed to a plus sign, I knew they weren't messing around." Yes, little Johnny, the Holy Roman Catholic Church does not play around. And surely, the God that made you does not think that you are worthless. You are a serious instrument for a serious task. However, brothers and sisters, sometimes we're just lazy. All of us. We may be slow to fight for a rebound on the basketball court. We may want to watch more television instead of doing the chores that need to be done. We may want to sleep in and get to work a little later. Whatever it is, not wanting to do a task is not a sin. And in some cases, it is not a bad thing to be, at least temporarily, lazy, especially after working hard. However, there is a state of mind that finds itself in not wanting to do anything productive, and it is worse than procrastination. Friends, it is sloth, and it's one of the 7 deadly sins. Many of us may think of sloth and immediately think of laziness, but sloth is more of an emotional and spiritual low that when we do not want to do anything because we do not see the point of our life or even our worth. And this has happened as a consequence of sin, where we remain disappointed and helpless, sometimes even hopeless, because of the circumstances of life, instead of being joyful that we are God's own. The readings today help us to see that we have been succumbed to temptation for all of human existence. Adam and Eve were tempted, and so are you and me. However, God gave us all that we needed. He did for them, and He does for us. We did not need to eat from the fruit, from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, because it was sufficient for us to know what was good. And we had it. The devil likes to trick us and make us believe that we are in fact lacking. However, we find fulfillment in the Jesus who restores all things, and not only restores, but grants us a way to move forward. He wants you to move forward because you are above the ways in which you sin. You are God's own created vessel, and you are good enough. Fortunately, Jesus is not asking you to trust in yourself or in your own abilities, because at one point or another, you will fail, and that is okay. However, He is asking you, He's asking me to trust in Him. After all, it's His mission that you're doing. Jesus' mission was fulfilled for you and me, even after the false temptations that the devil used in trying to get Jesus to believe that He needed more than what He already had, or more than the mission that God had already sent Him. the mission that God the Father gave to God the Son. Jesus was content with himself. And now is the time for us all to be content with ourselves. To be content with ourselves, not to be content with our sin. And so God is calling you to not give up on life, but to remain faithful and diligent in him. He's all that matters, and he made you with a certain purpose and mission. Who cares if things don't go your way? They're not supposed to. They're supposed to go God's own way. Own that. Own the fact that he has never neglected you and will never neglect you. Just keep on pushing forward. Don't stop. Friends, Lent is our opportunity to find the reason to move forward, to be motivated by the one who gives meaning to our life. Let that abstinence or whatever you gave up be the commitment you need to focus on that which saves. Because that which saves is that which gives meaning. And that which gives meaning loves you personally today and always. How do you cure sloth? Go to the Lord. Tell him that you are empty. Allow him to show you who you are in his eyes. And then believe it. Be steadfast in it, even when things don't go your way. It does not have to go your way. After all, what you are looking for awaits you in heaven.